Lord, I come to you now. I come into your presence. Lord, I come to you now. I come into your presence, seeking forgiveness your mercy can bring, 'cause you died on the cross for my sin. Lord, I surrender, confess everything. That's always the place to begin. Again and again and again. Again and again and again. Oh Lord, I come to you.
All right. Welcome back to Mr. Island. What day is it? Thanks for coming back. My family, mi familia, mi hermanos and hermanas, mi brothers and sisters. Thanks for coming back to the island. And this is where we gather, right? This is where we gather. We come here and we read God's words to decipher all this deception that's going on, and it's helping us prepare for these perilous times that are coming. We see the signs of the times of the signs, and we know that, the things that are going on, that Jesus is coming back for his bride is right around the corner. It could happen at any moment. We see the signs of the beast system being built, and all the things that it's going to talk about with this 70th week of Daniel, these things that are going to take place in this last 7 years of man, and the one of the characters we've been reading about this week, he gets his little glory for a couple years, but him, his fallen angels, and mankind that rejects Jesus, they're going to be judged, and it's going to be brutal. We're right around the corner from that. So thanks for coming back. This is where we're reading God's word. It deepens our faith, and it increases it deepens our relationship with the Lord. It helps us understand who he is and how much he loves us, and his good grace and his mercy, and so we've been going through the book of Job. Monday we covered chapter 1, Wednesday we did chapter 2, and we kind of did basically his wife and his friends, and this other guy, Elihu comes in, and his friends, you sinner, it's your fault. What are you doing, Job? Repent. And Job constantly, his faith in the Lord and his understanding of who he is and his relationship with the Lord is unwavering. All the trials and tribulations that he went through, unwavering. So today, chapter 5, we're going to go through chapter 37, 38, where God finally, after all this misery, God's finally going to talk to Job. So you ready? Let's just dig in. Chapter 37 of the book of Job. At this also my heart trembles and leaps from its place. Hear attentively the thunder of his. Sound like we're coming in the middle of something here. So I don't know. I'm just continuing. At this also my heart trembles and leaps from its place. Hear attentively the thunder of his voice. So you want to understand what God's voice sounds like? There's a rumbling that comes from his mouth. He sends it forth under the whole heaven, his lightning to the ends of the earth. After it, a voice roars. He thunders with his majestic voice, and he does not restrain them when his voice is heard. God thunders marvelously with his voice. He does great things which we cannot comprehend. For he says to the snow, fall on the earth, likewise to the gentle rain. And so it reminds me, I hear this, and it's like, you see that, like, scientists, and they're trying to study this God particle, what holds everything together. God is involved in everything that's going on the earth. Snow, the rain, the formation, the animals, what they do, their instinct. Mankind, is holding it all together. One day he's going to let go. There's going to be a whole new heavens and new earth created. So it says, for he says to the snow, fall on the earth. So when it snows, God's saying, fall on the earth, snow. Likewise to the gentle rain and the heavy rain of his strength. He seals the hand of every man, that all men may know his work. The beasts go into the dens and remain in their lairs. From the chambers of the south comes the whirlwind, and cold from the scattering winds of the north. By the breath of God ice is given, and the broad waters are frozen. Also with moisture he saturates the thick clouds. He scatters his bright clouds. He's definitely not doing chemtrails. As man trying to be God, trying to kill mankind, being used by our enemy. So that's one thing that really bugs me, man, chemtrails. I mean, if it doesn't matter what you do with everything else. As long as they're chemtrailing mankind, they're poisoning the air, the water, the land, the animals, the food, everything we eat, drink, everything, breathe, everything for man's existence on planet, they're poisoning it on purpose, and nobody's doing anything about it. So it doesn't matter whatever else is going on. The chemtrails is killing us, and it's destroying our food, water, air, animals, everything, the ground, the rain, everything. It's polluting it, controlling it. They're killing mankind, and everybody's crickets. Well, I think Florida passed a law. They can't do it down there. Maybe get DeSantis in for that one thing to get rid of chemtrails for presidency. I don't know. Men are not gonna bring anything back to normal. It's over. We are at the very end. We are at the end. Normal's not coming back. Jesus is. So. From the chamber of the south comes the whirlwind, and cold from the scattering winds of the north. Oh, that's where I read that. Verse 12, and so he scatters his bright clouds, and they swirl about, being turned by his guidance, that they may do whatever he commands them. On the face of the whole earth he causes it to come, whether for correction, or for his land, or for mercy. Ooh, look at that. So talking about the rain, the waters, and the clouds, and the storms, light or heavy. It says that on the whole face of the earth, he causes it to come, whether for correction, or for his land, or for mercy. Listen to this, O Job. Stand still and consider the wondrous works of God. Do you know when God dispatches them and causes the light of his cloud to shine? Do you know how the clouds are blanched? Those wondrous works of him who is perfect in knowledge? Why are your garments hot when he quiets the earth by the south wind? With him have you spread out the sky strong as a cast metal mirror? Teach us what we should say to him. For we can prepare nothing because of the darkness. Should he be told that I wish to speak? If a man were to speak, surely he would be swallowed up. Even now men cannot look at the light when it is bright in the skies, when the wind has passed and cleared them. He comes from the north as golden splendor. With God is awesome majesty, and for the Almighty we cannot find him. He is excellent in power, in judgment, and abundant justice. He does not oppress, therefore men fear him. He shows no partiality to anyone who are wise of heart. So maybe that was this Elihu who was saying this, proclaiming this. So I guess is Elihu proclaims God's majesty. So that was Elihu talking to Job. Verse 38, then the Lord answered Job out of the whirlwind and said, who is this who darkens counsel by words without knowledge? Now prepare yourself like a man. I will question you, and you shall answer me. Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? Tell me, if you have understanding, who determined its measurements? Surely you know. God determined its measurements. And that's exact and it's perfect for mankind's habitation. Too far from the sun, not too close to the sun. Oxygen, carbon dioxide, or monoxide, I don't know. All the elements. It's perfect for mankind's to live here. And you got men thinking they go to another planet, they can make all the things that God has made. And God is the one that's in charge of it, and He still holds it together, and He's the one that's the clouds, the snow, everything. And you got men that think they go to other planets and make it some kind of control the weather there to make it inhabitable, like you do here on Earth. Unreal. But again, all millions of rabbit holes you can go down. They all lead to when you get to the very end of it, and you understand the very end of each rabbit hole, it's all Genesis 3. Did God say, and you can be like gods? I mean, that's really the root of all of it. The root of all these rabbit holes in life. They're all, did God say, or you can be like God? So it continues on. So I should cut it short. He says, who determined the measurements? Surely you know, or who stretched the line upon it? To what were its foundations fastened? Or who laid its cornerstone? When the morning stars sang together and all the sons of God shouted for joy. There we are again. The sons of God. The same sons of God that fell to the earth and mated with women and created the Nephilim. And people teaching you it's the line of Seth, they're lying to you. I mean, they have to twist and maneuver and poo-poo or allegorize or whatever, all these other scriptures concerning, I mean, if you don't understand Genesis 3 and Genesis 6, you know, as much as you know about the rest of the Bible, you're going to get it all wrong when you come across stuff. I mean, it's the foundation of understanding. You know, these great men out there, maybe they're teaching 80, 90, 95% truth, and they actually can't, because I think it says that a third of the book is about prophecy and about Jesus. And to understand prophecy, you got to understand Genesis 3 and Genesis 6. So anyways, these sons of God was here before we were, because they shouted for joy as God created the earth. So there's definitely something going on before us. The world doesn't revolve around men. No, we are just a part of the creation. So the sons of God shouted for joy. I don't know if that was before they fell or after. You got a third that followed this living creature, Satan, the creature of the reptiles, the living creature that looked like the reptile, that followed with him. And then you got, can you guys hear Ryder, my bird? He's obsessed with me. I mean, he's obsessed. Like I literally have this, like a baby. He's got to be with me at all times. If not, he screams and cries. It's crazy. So he's crying right now because I haven't been down there in an hour and a half. Where are you, dude? Get down. Pay attention to me. So the sons of God, they shouted for joy. Or who shut in the sea with doors? Who shut in the sea with doors when it burst forth and issued from the womb? And when I made the clouds its garment, and thick darkness its swaddling band, when I fixed my limit for it, and set bars and doors. What was that? Portals? Bars and doors that go to and fro from earth? Jacob's ladder? The Mount Hermon, where the gates of hell? I don't know. When I said, this far from you may come, but no farther, and here your proud waves must stop. Again, he's in charge of all of it. When the oceans start, when they stop, when they was created, where they, on the waves, they stop, and that it might take hold of the ends of the earth. So I guess, if he didn't do that, then the waves would just take over the whole earth. And the wicked shall be out. So, whatever, let me read that again. Thus far you may come, but no farther, and here your proud waves must stop, that it may take hold of the ends of the earth, and the wicked be shaken out of it. It takes on form like clay under a seal and stands out like a garment. From the wicked their light is withheld, and the upraised arm is broken. What's he talking about there? I don't know. Have you entered the springs of the sea? Is he talking about Satan and his angels? It takes on form like clay under a seal and stands out like a garment. From the wicked their light is withheld, and the upraised arm is broken. I don't know. Have you entered the springs of the sea, or have you walked in search of the depths? Have the gates of death been revealed to you? Or have you seen the doors of the shadow of death? You imagine Job after all of this, and he's sitting there listening to God say this. Like a man, I will question you, shall answer me. Have the gates of death been revealed to you? Or have you seen the doors of the shadow of death? Have you comprehended the breadth of the earth? Tell me if you know all this. Where is the way to the dwelling of light and darkness? Where is its place? That you may take it to its territory, that you may know the paths to its home. Do you know it? Because you were born then, or because the number of your days is great? Have you entered the treasury of snow? Or have you seen the treasury of hail, which I have reserved for the time of trouble? For the day of battle and war? You know that God has a treasure of hail. He's reserved it for the time of trouble and for the day of battle and war. That's in Revelation. One of the I don't know if is it the trumpet judgment, or maybe the bowls. I think it's one of the bowl judgments, or hail. It's like stoning men to death. Well, he's right here. He says he's got it in reserve. He's holding it for this day. By what way is light diffused, or the east wind scattered over the earth? What way is light diffused? You see all these people now, they're taking DMT, and they're looking at these laser lights on the wall, and they can see the coding of it and stuff. The light is, we see what we see because God has diffused the light. We can only see, there's a world like the Matrix. There's a world that we can't see that's in the midst of us. There's more, quantum physics and all that. I don't want to get into that. Mr. gets into that kind of stuff. Right? It basically talks about like the space in between the chair I'm sitting on. There's more space in between it than actual material that I'm sitting on. It's crazy. But God's in charge of all that. But He's diffused the light so we can see what we see. And there's a lot of things we can't see because of that light's diffused. Verse 25, who has divided a channel for the overflowing water, or a path for the thunderbolt, to cause it to rain on the land where there is no one? So when Job was over here in the land of Uz, he's saying he caused it to rain on a land where there is no one, a wilderness in which there is no man. Could that be like America? The Americas? North America? Central America? South America? He's still taking care of all that. There's no man there, but he still reigns on it, and he's still in control of it. He's waiting for man to get there eventually. Verse 25. Oh no, I read that. So I know this divided a channel for the overflowing water. I think isn't there a channel that like goes down the Atlantic in between like Europe and America? Isn't there like a channel there? That channels and the water goes into the earth to keep the water at a certain level. I don't know. Verse 27. To satisfy the desolate waste and cause to spring forth the growth of tender grass. Has the rain a father? or who has begotten the drops of dew? From whose womb comes the ice and the frost of heaven? Who gives it birth? The waters harden like stone, and the surface of the deep is frozen. Can you bind the cluster of the Pleiades, or loose the belt of Orion? Can you bring out Mazzaroth in its season, or can you guide the great bear with its cubs? Do you know the ordinances of the heavens? Can you set your dominion over the earth? See, God's in control of all of this. It's not just this happen chance and evolution and lightning struck nothing and it blew up and, the amoebas became frogs and walking fish and became monkeys and monkeys became man. No. And God's still in control of everything everything that's going on the earth. He's still in control. Can you lift up your voice to the clouds? To the abundance of water may cover you? Can you send out lightnings that they may go and say to you, here we are? Or who has put wisdom in the mind? Or who has given understanding to the heart? So, your intelligence and your heart, God's still in control of that too. He has given us that ability. Who can number the clouds by wisdom? Or who can pour out the bottles of heaven? When the dust hardens in clumps and the clods cling together, can you hunt the prey of the lion, or satisfy the appetite of the young lions? When they crouch in their dens or lurk in their lairs to lie in wait? Who provides food for the raven when its young one cries to God and wonder about for lack of food? So when the birds they're crying to God for food? I don't know. Do you know the time when, chapter 39, do you know the time when the wild mountain goats bear young? Or can you mark when the deer gives birth? Can you number the months that they fulfill? Or do you know the time when they bear young? They bow down, they bring forth their young, they deliver their offspring, their young ones are healthy, they grow strong with grain, they depart and do not return to them? Who set the wild donkey free? Who loosed the bonds of the onager? Whose home I have made the wilderness, and the barren land his dwelling? He scorns the tumult of the city. Oh, he does not heed the shouts of the driver. Oh, yeah. The range of the mountains in his pasture, and his searches after every green thing. Will the wild ox be willing to serve you? Will he be bed by your manager? Can you bind the wild ox in the furrow with ropes? Or will he plow the valleys behind you? Will you trust him because his strength is great? Or will you leave your labor to him? Will you trust him to bring home your grain and gather it to your threshing floor? The wings of the ostrich have proudly, but her wings and pinions like the kindly storks, for she leaves her eggs on the ground and warms them in the dust. She forgets that a foot may crush them, or that a wild beast may break them. She treats her young harshly as though they were not hers. Her labor is in vain without concern, because God deprived her of wisdom and did not endow her with understanding. So when he created this bird, that's why she does what she does, because he says he deprived her of wisdom and did not endow her with understanding. It's like I've said it before, but when I drive to work, just animals, dead animals everywhere. Raccoons and squirrels and beavers and possums and porcupines and birds and deer, and it just death. And I'm like, Lord, why don't you, that verse that talks about the Lord cares about the sparrow, and the sparrow gets his food, and how much more does he care about you? And I'm like, when you care about the sparrow like that, why are you allowing all these animals to come out on the road and die? It's like, it's horrible. It breaks my heart every time I see one. It's bad. I guess, I'm like, why didn't you create something in them that lets them know the roads and mankind is evil? Warning, warning, Will Rogers, there's a road, don't go out there. I guess when he created them, they don't have the wisdom or the understanding to go out on that road. It's sad. Verse 18, when she lifts her on high, and then she scorns the horse and its rider. Have you given the horse strength? Have you clothed his neck with thunder? Can you frighten him like a locust? His majestic snorting strikes terror. His paws in the valley and rejoices in his strength. He gallops into the clash of arms. He mocks at fear and is not frightened, nor does he turn back from the sword. A quiver rattles against him, and glittering spear and javelin. He devours the distance with fierceness and rage, nor does he come to a halt because the trumpet was sounded. At the blast of the trumpet, he says, ah, he smells the battle from afar, the thunder of captains and shouting. Does the hawk, I guess a horse, that's why, they're good for battle because they don't fear any of that. Does the hawk fly by your wisdom and spread its wings towards the south? Does the eagle mount up at your command and make its nest on high, or the rock it dwells and resides, or the crag of the rock and the stronghold? From there it spies out and prey, and its eyes observe from afar a young one struck up blood. Where the slain are, there it is. Moreover, the Lord answered Job and said, shall the one who contends with the Almighty correct him? He who rebukes God, let him answer it. Job's response to God. Then Job answered the Lord and said, behold, I am vile. So, it's, all this misery and woe, complaining his friends, and, it boils head to foot, and you're a sinner, what's wrong with you? And this other guy, Elihu, God, or Job, still loves the Lord, understands it. Then after God says, dude, it basically explains to him, I'm God, I'm in control of all of this. And Job says, behold, I am vile. What shall I answer you? I lay my hand over my mouth. Once I have spoken, but I will not answer. Yes, twice, but I will proceed no further. Then the Lord answered Job, and out of the whirlwind said, now prepare yourself like a man, and I will question you, and you shall answer me. Would you indeed annul my judgment? This is chapter 40. Would you condemn me that you may be justified? Have you an arm like God, or can you thunder with a voice like his? Then adorn yourself with majesty and splendor, and array yourself with glory and beauty. Disperse the rage of your wrath. Look on everyone who is proud and humble him. Look on everyone who is proud and bring him low. He's being set up for that big time. Tread down the wicked in their place. You know what the problem with that is the country's going to fall. The country's going to go through that. When Trump falls from his post of pride, his clucking his feathers and how awesome I am attitude, when he falls, the problem is we're going to reap all that, the whirlwind of his fall, and it's going to come by man, the left, the ones that hate this country. We are going to reap their whirlwind because they hate this country, they hate Trump, hate everything about, it's coming. I'm telling you, it's coming. It's coming. Jesus said, in the last days, perilous times are going to come. Don't let any man deceive you. Key foundations to this channel. So tread down the wicked in their place. Hide them in the dust together. Blind their faces in hidden darkness. Then I will also confess to you that your own right hand can save you. Look now at the behemoth. So this is all about dinosaurs. Dinosaurs during the time of Job? I don't know. Because it says, look now at behemoth, which I made along with you. So he describes this behemoth, and he said he made him along with Job. See now his strength in his hips, and his power in his stomach muscles. He moves his tail like a cedar. If you've seen a cedar tree, it's huge. The sinews of his thighs are tightly knit. His bones are like beams of bronze. His ribs are like bars of iron. He is the first of the ways of God. This behemoth is the first of the ways of God. Only he who made him can bring near his sword. Surely the mountains yield food for him. The mountains yield food for this guy, this behemoth, and all the beasts of the field play there. He lies under the lotus trees in a covert or reeds and marsh. The lotus trees, I don't know how big lotus trees are. Probably huge. The lotus trees cover him with their shade. The willows of the brook surround him. Indeed, the river may rage, yet he is not disturbed. Have you ever been in a river, a raging river? Any animal that we know of today, if they go into a raging river, they're gone. Mankind, lions, hippopotamus. No, they might. Doubt it. Basically, anything goes into a raging river is going to get swooped down. But this says, and indeed, the river may rage, yet he is not disturbed. So it doesn't even bother him. So as we can see, the dinosaurs, you can imagine. They walk in a raging river, and it's like we're walking into a stream of water. He is confident, though the Jordan gushes into his mouth. So he drinks out of the, so he's so big, the Jordan River is like his little water fountain. Though he takes it in his eyes, or one pierces his nose with the snare. So wait, I don't know. Can you draw to another? So that was a land dinosaur. Here's the one in the water. Can you draw out the Leviathan with a hook, or snare his tongue with a line which you lower? Can you put a reed through his nose, or pierce his jaw with a hook? Will he make many supplications to you? Will he speak softly to you? Will he make a covenant with you? Will he take him a servant forever? Will you play with him as with a bird? Or will you leash him for your maidens? Will your companions make a banquet of him? Will they apportion him among the merchants? Can you fill his skin with harpoons, or his head with fishing spears? Lay your hand on him. Remember the battle. Never do it again. Indeed, any hope of overcoming him is false. Shall one not be overwhelmed at the sight of him? So, land dinosaurs and water dinosaurs. No one is so fierce that he would dare stir him up. Who then is able to stand against me? Who has preceded me that I should pay him? Everything under heaven is mine, says God. It goes on, more description about him. He leaves a shiny wake behind him. One would think in the deep, and that white hair. So chapter 42, Job's repentance and restoration. Then Job answered the Lord and said, I know that you can do everything and that no purpose of yours can be withheld from you. You asked, who is this who hides counsel without knowledge? Therefore I have uttered what I do not understand, things too wonderful for me, which I did not know. Listen, please, and let me speak. You said, I will question you, and you shall answer me. I have heard of you by the hearing of the ear, but now my eye sees you. Therefore I abhor myself and repent in the dust and ashes. And so it was, after the Lord had spoken these words unto Job, that the Lord said to Eliphaz, Temanite, the wrath is aroused against you and your two friends. Oh wait, Eliphaz the Temanite and his other two friends. And your two friends, for you have not spoken of me what is right. So all this, if you go through the whole book of Job, Job, you're a sinner. Sure, you did this, you did that. It's your fault, Job. God saying, you heathens, you lied. You have not spoken of me what is right, as my servant Job has. Now therefore take for yourselves 7 bulls and 7 rams, and go to my servant Job and offer up yourselves a burnt offering, and my servant Job shall pray for you, for I will accept him, lest I deal with you according to your folly, because you have not spoken to me what is right, as my servant Job has. Now God comes down to his three friends and puts them in check, and they all have to bring him 7. So starts the rebuilding again. 7 bulls and 7 rams. I don't know if they sacrifice all of them. I don't know. So Eliphaz the Temanite, and Bildad the Shuhite, and Zophar the Naamathite went and did as the Lord commanded them. For the Lord had accepted Job, and the Lord restored Job's losses. When he prayed for his friends, indeed, the Lord gave Job twice as much as he had before. So he had 7 sons, 3 daughters, and a wife. Then all his brothers, all his sisters, and all those who had been his acquaintances before came to him and ate food with him in his house, and they consoled him and comforted him for all the adversity that the Lord had brought upon him. Each one gave him a piece of silver, and each a ring of gold. Now the Lord blessed the latter days of Job more than his beginnings, for he had 14,000 sheep, 6,000 camels, 1,000 yoke of oxen, that's more than double, and 1,000 female donkeys. He also had 7 sons and 3 daughters, and he called the name of the first Jeremiah, and the name of the second Keziah, whatever, and the name of the third. So all the land were found no women so beautiful as the daughters of Job, and their father gave them an inheritance among their brothers. After this, Job lived 140 years and saw his children and grandchildren for 4 generations. So Job died old and full of days. Wow. Great story, and just full of golden nuggets. All throughout it, golden nuggets. How Satan works. God's in control of everything. And, how our faith should be, no matter what. Pinched nerves and necks, and, bugs in the stomach, and, can't function right with all your organs, and it's just, I don't know, I'm a mess. So, yeah, there you go. I think next week we're going to start, we're going to get out of the Digging for Gold series, and we're going to jump back into a book, either Matthew, maybe 1 Corinthians, the first Californians, the carnal Christians, because most of the world today is full of carnal Christians. So, I don't know, we'll see. So, yeah, thanks for watching. It's Friday, turn off your phones, turn off your TVs, spend some time with your loved ones, and go out there and grab a hold of that time and utilize it right, because you can't buy it, you can't sell it. Once it's gone, it's gone. We are like a vapor here on earth, and we are going to be gone before you know it. I think I'm getting real close to that. I'm getting real close. Falling apart fast. All right, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys back here if the Lord tarries. I'll see you back here on Monday as we dig back into God's Word.